I did the Dow transports, and what I have here is called the S&P Bank Index, Banking Index. And in the S&P Banking Index, we were a lot more heavily percent weighted over here at the time. We were like 20% of the S&P 500 was damn near related to financials. Well, since the big collapse, naturally that is not the same weighting as it once was. Well, Lehman Brothers is gone, Bear Stearns is gone, not to mention a lot of other companies at the time, and basically they've reweighted the S&P 500. It's not all the same ones that are there. And that in a market top or market bottom, this was the long-term 5-year topping pattern in the banking index that I told people there was a 75-year topping pattern in the actual New York Stock Exchange. That's where 60% of your program trading occurs, and your institutions are buying and selling more of the old line economy stocks that have been listed on there for a number of years that got great earnings, have been around. There was 2 topping patterns that came up. Housing index was a topping pattern as well, and we went straight down. And what I'm going to show here today is that this was the drop. But the thing about it is where we have come today off of the March low. What I would like to show people here, and this is a monthly chart, we are at 59.82%. When we were at the bottom, we were at 11.11% where financials could be bought. Why? They would short cover. That would take the stock up. People would start coming in. Institutions, mutual fund managers, you name it alike, would start to buy the index. And that what leads indexes down, as we did with the Dow transports, is that the S&P 500 would also take it up. And basically, we've come a long ways in the index. We are now basically at 59.82%. Is there still room to go higher? There is. However, when we were back over here making the top that we called here at Stock Market Funding, our percent DS was 72%. That doesn't mean that we go back in this cycle, we're at 59.82%. That doesn't mean that we go up there. Especially now, we are coming off the low of a very horrific financial turbulence within our world we live in and the economy that we live in today. Where that this indicator could top out, just so people know, is probably right around 64%. It is possible going through a topping pattern. We will go through another top. That was your bottom, and you don't put a bottom in. So how do you put a bottom in a stock market or on a top? It happens two ways. It happens. Exuberance was right here, selling it down, and we get exuberance in buying coming off the bottom. A top is put in with exuberance, and a bottom equally is put in the same way with exuberance. Basically, the banking sector is not the same. We have come up here on a monthly level, and we are testing this downward move where back on 1/1 of 09, where the exuberant selling put the bottom in. They came right in. We called that move, and since then, you can see that you've had wonderful positive moves all the way up. The thing about it was you had a couple of month consolidation, you broke higher, and now we are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-month consolidation on the banking index. Remember, both financials and transports have a way of turning markets. They turned it here this way. We are in a major multi-month consolidation. It is possible that we could pop up here to this upper trend line. However, we have yet and failed, and this indicator will not be final until the end of January. So basically, when we look at the S&P 500 index, we look at where this long-term resistance and consolidation level is. One of two things are going to happen here. Within the next month or two, we're going to put what we call in a top. Or we are going to fail here at the current resistance level, and we are going to gap on a monthly level. We would start to sell on a weekly level, and we will go back below this horizontal trend line. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bullish part about it is it started with the upward month. It's held half of the month range for quite a few months. But yet again, a topping pattern can occur at a major resistance level. And it looks like this. There's your downtrend. That's last year.